I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Mearicat joins us. Hi.
Hello.
I appreciate you coming
Hello
on.
there.
Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, my name is Mearicat. I am the cat uh I'm the cat VTuber guardian of the Cat Haven. It is so nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on. So, uh, how long have you been gracing the airways with your presence?
I have been on Twitch. It'll be 2 years in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I have not been a VTuber for the whole time.
Mm.
Um, about I want to say about halfway-ish into streaming, I decided to become a PNG tuber.
Yeah.
And in December, I debuted my first model.
Oh, so you decided kind of on the go to do the VTubing thing. What made the difference for you?
Well, starting streaming with I started off with the face cam.
Uh-huh.
I liked it a little bit, but it became one of those things where whenever you're getting off of work and deciding you want to just stream
Hmm.
and just having your face out there when you're just off of work and just, not looking the best, it
Mm.
just wasn't too great.
Yeah, I would imagine, I was in radio for a long time. I did a little bit of video stuff when I was younger, and didn't break cameras quite as often. Um, the it does make a little bit of stress on you. I mean, you want to come home and just kind of like you want to sit down in something comfortable and be comfortable while doing it, and then adding another several minutes on the getting preparation, and then
Yeah,
worrying about that doesn't make you comfortable.
yes. And with streaming, my biggest thing is I want to be comfortable when I click the go live button.
Yeah.
I want to be able to bring that uppy, just happy personality to the forefront whenever I'm streaming. While I know that I'm not always rainbows and sunshine or whatever, I want to be able to make my space as bright as I can
Yeah.
whenever I do click the go live button.
I think that's wonderful. I'm glad you're able to do that. It's for folks who are high energy and very much into keeping it going. Is it really tough for you to do that at a high level? Because I've never asked this question before, so you're the first. So good luck.
Ooh.
Good luck with
Ooh,
me
I
getting
like
it out
this
right.
question. Thank
It,
you.
is it?
Hmm. I, for me, I am a very high energy person.
Uh-huh.
I like to say that I'm a mix of a introvert and an extrovert.
Ah.
I know when to bring that extrovert out of me, and I know when to like be my introverted self.
Mm,
Um, and in times, yes, it can be very, very hard for me to bring that out. So I have to be able to tell when it's kind of like time for me to have quiet time or me time or
yeah.
like just be able to kind of curve the stream to being more so calm than chaotic.
Mm,
And I think I'm able to do that pretty well at this point.
yeah. Yeah. It's a tough balance to do. I imagine for someone who's trying to be both high energy in a way and also uh, welcoming and calm and comfy at the same time. Because
Yes.
I'm guessing that your energy level when you're on, if you're putting out say 100, I'll say 100%. If you come in at 75%, do they notice?
Ooh, okay. I would say my mods notice heavily. They
Mm,
they have come to me and they're able to tell the moment that anything is off in my energy. It is
mm,
so funny. I
mm,
have multiple mods that have just been like, Mira, we can tell.
mm.
We like we can tell. We know you're not having the greatest day. Like it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. it's that's how do you overcome that, or you do you just soldier on?
It's a mix of soldiering on and understanding that you have to be able to, at the end of the day, come home to yourself and understand that whatever mistakes you've made, they are in the past at that moment.
Hmm.
And you need to be able to comfort yourself while also being able to pick up on what you need to fix.
Yeah, yeah. It
Hmm.
it really is. I put out an old. I used to tell people, and I semi went by this. Was that always give 50%, because if one day you accidentally give 60%, they think you're giving 110% and you still have 40% left. Now that sounds terrible, and it really is. But I in applying it to what you're doing here, you're giving out a whole lot to start with, and any little falter that gets caught by the audience or the mods, um, you've set yourself a pretty high bar.
Uh, I don't know. In my eyes, it's not that high necessarily because that's just how I am always.
Mm,
Um, I mean, even like in the workplace,
mm,
I'm this exact way.
yeah,
It's just my personality.
yeah,
Um, I'm a very high energy person.
yeah,
Uh, I want to bring as much of myself, my most authentic self as I can
right,
possible to the forefront, just so that other people can feel comfortable bringing themselves to me.
yeah,
I can't ask another person to open themselves up if I can't be my most authentic self up front.
absolutely. That's very well put, extremely well put, actually. Um, and you've got a different situation because since this is the way you pretty much are all the time, it's more comfortable for you. You're not pushing yourself to give that level because that's just your normal level.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. It's very much so a heavy understanding of myself because
mm,
I know like not everyone is like that way,
mm,
but you have to be able to understand who you are to be able to put yourself in the most comfortable position for you.
mm,
And I do think that the way I handle myself in my streams and my high energy, even if I'm having a bad day, I can kind of have a calmer stream.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's exactly what chat needs too, is just a
Yeah,
calmer stream.
yeah. I tell you, you've got a great voice for this.
Thank you.
I mean, really, and folks, I talk about people's voices and how smooth they are, and how there aren't any rough edges on your voice,
Oh
uh,
my goodness.
and that is very that lends itself to a calming effect right away. There's just no doubting about it. So that's a great instrument you got there.
Eric, I have to say the exact same for you as well. I
Oh,
mean, you have a radio voice.
yeah, yeah, I do.
I love it.
I also have a face for radio.
Oh, perfect.
I actually did one time, back in the 100 years ago. They put me up on a billboard, which was just so frightening.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
look up and I see myself. I'm like, oh,
Oh.
why did they do that?
Oh, that's exciting. Oh
it,
my
it is,
goodness.
but it's scary. Oh my God, is it
It
scary?
is. Putting
Yeah,
yourself out there is terrifying.
yeah, it is.
It's the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, and how is that something that's easy for you with this, or did you have to overcome anything to put yourself out
Oh,
in the
Eric, I'm
broadcasting?
terrified right now.
Oh, come on.
You just have to be able to get, like, not get over it, but be able to work with your fears.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like right now, I'm sitting here like shaking, holding my water. Like I'm
Oh,
terrified, but I'm able to be confident in my fears.
oh. We're just talking. That's what we're
Yeah, we're
doing.
just talking.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's like it's the fact I'm actively putting myself out there for once, and
oh,
I
that's
never do
true.
that.
That's true. And that does make a difference. And and the whole comfort level. You mentioned this before, and you said it a lot better than I'll ever say it. Um, Being comfortable with the person you're talking to, or is or at least sounding that way, and it is so key to making that connection between yourself and whether it's a bunch of people or just one person. Whether you're in life, behind a desk, and somebody comes up to you and wants something out of you. There's a lot of different ways to do that, and breaking down that barrier is a is tough to do sometimes.
It is. It is. And I mean, getting to know people in general,
Hmm.
it's very hard. I mean, for me especially, like within the VTuber space,
Hmm.
um, I've met many amazing people,
Yeah,
but it's also been very hard for me to like I've said, put myself out there.
right.
Um, I while I am confident, I do hold myself back because of my fears sometimes.
Well,
But
there's something to be said for being cautious. Um, there's some there's some bad actors who are good actors.
it is true. That is true.
I mean, that's just what it is. You don't the there are some people who can take the anonymity of any situation and use it to their bad disadvantage. Um,
Mhm.
uh, with the anonymity of having an avatar, but since you moved over to that from being doing the live stream, have you felt a little more open to opening yourself up online?
Mm. I would say yes and no. I
Yeah.
feel like it also, with having the avatar, it also has that barrier kind of protectivity for me.
Mm,
Um, because I want to feel comfortable as well as like protected in my space.
yeah.
Um, and I do live in a very active household too.
Mm.
So sometimes, a family member will pop in and they don't necessarily want to be on camera. Um, so having a VTuber as well does help with the comfortability at home.
Hmm.
Um, Now it doesn't really help me open up as well, I would say. I feel like it might hold me back a little bit
Really,
sometimes.
really. I
I've just a little bit, not as much,
mm,
but I will sometimes do tarot streams.
mm,
And I'll do these whenever I hit follower goals over on Twitch.
right.
Um, and I will do them li with my face cam,
Yeah.
because that is something my community does like to do.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm able to be more comfortable because I can kind of like see myself and I'm able to like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and with that, I imagine that's something that you're comfortable doing, and you're and you've done readings for other folks before, I would think, and that's
Yes.
something that we're talking about in getting in your wheelhouse with that. You're doing something that you have interest in, and again, everything is comfortable for you except maybe the camera, and that's not bothering you at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much, but it's like it's something where I can kind of like every so often have my face out there when I want it, and that
yeah.
makes me pretty happy.
Yeah, having that choice is big too, um, and
Yes.
and it sounds like you're really. Well, I'm looking for the right word because I hate using the wrong words. Um, Real with it, with your experience. It doesn't sound like there's anything fake about you when you're going into this. This is an extension of you, and and by that you're more comfortable that way.
Yes. Yes. It's one of those things where when I went into deciding I wanted to be a VTuber rather than a face cam
Hmm.
streamer, I decided that when it came to making a character, quote unquote, I say character, but I see Mearicat as literally just Mira. I see it as myself. Me if I was a pink cat girl. Um, I just wanted the character to reflect me.
Yeah.
But again, if I was a pink cat girl that
Mm.
had a cat haven,
Yes. Yes. And is it you or an aspect of you?
Well, I would say an aspect because there's so much that makes up Mira.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
it's a tiny aspect in the pool.
yeah, yeah. You're not giving away the whole book, just a chapter.
No, not yet. You gotta wait for that. Come
Yeah,
on now.
yeah. I say I don't even have a book. I just have a pamphlet.
You
And,
should write a book.
oh, I've tried. I've actually tried, and I got to about page two. Um, yeah, there's a whole lot of difference. Bringing that up is a great segue because my question to you is being realizing that you're performing in front of people. You see, you're kind of you have traits of introvert and extrovert as well. What does that when you realize that you're performing in front of people? What does that do for you?
Oh, it adds that spotlight effect a
Mm,
little bit. Um, it's it's one of those things where when I kind of realize that like, oh shoot, people are watching me.
mm.
Um, it adds in that introverted like, oh wait a second, the spotlight is on me. Um, and I don't know. When it comes to streaming, though, I've never, I mean, I have gotten that spotlight feeling every so often, but
Yeah.
not all the time.
Mm,
Typically, when I'm streaming, I feel kind of at home in myself
yeah.
because I actively just decide to be myself and pretend that no one's there.
Right.
And then if people are in chat and it's super active, sometimes it does make the spotlight feel a little heavier, but I just pretend like they're just the homies, like they're
Yeah.
just the friends,
Yeah.
like they know me.
Yeah. And they're coming back for you.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
that's always I always want to find out what people think when they first realize that people are coming back not because of what you're doing, but because of you and your personality. Um,
Oh, it's a wonder kind of. It's kind of like I'm me
mm,
all of the time.
right.
All of the time. So I don't notice the little things that people have noticed.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
I don't notice as much because I am me all of the time. So whenever someone comes back for specific reasons or because they like something about me, it makes me feel very appreciated and it makes me want to appreciate my community 10 times more.
Yeah. Yeah. When it still is that kind of give and take thing. That's a kind of experience that is very rare to find outside of a community like this, and it does bring the medium itself brings so many new experiences to people, um, both as watchers and participants. Were you a watcher before you became a participant?
So I I actually was I was a Twitch watcher
Mm-hmm.
back in 2020. I
Mm.
was into like watching just the Minecraft streamers at the time. But I was more so a YouTube child.
Yeah,
Uh I was big into like Captain Sparkles,
yeah,
PewDiePie, Markiplier.
yeah,
Oh, I heavily looked up. I still heavily look up to Markiplier.
yeah, yeah. You talk about somebody who works. Those guys. I mean, there's a lot of people. People can look at them now and say, "Oh yeah, they're the big guys." Well, they worked their
Their
pliers
butts
off,
off.
to get there.
Yep,
I mean,
they did.
they gave up a lot of things to concentrate on this, and you can and well, one thing they're extremely talented to start with, and that's one thing. But they also have the work philosophy to do it, and
Yes.
their work philosophy, and sometimes it's so extreme, it makes me tired thinking about it. I, I don't,
It really
yeah,
does.
and a lot of folks who are getting started with this VTuber thing have you know at least one job, or trying to put bills together and are finding places here and there to be able to stream. Was that how you got started, or did you have a lot of free time on your hands?
So when I started, I was working a full-time job
Hmm.
at a serving restaurant near me.
Oh,
Um, and I started streaming originally with a small group of my friends.
yeah,
Um, Slowly, we've kind of broken off from each other, but it's okay.
yeah.
Um, and it it helped me with the real world a
Mm,
lot.
yeah.
And interacting with people
Hmm.
because it's a lot, I would say it's a lot different being a streamer like VTuber or just a streamer in general and interacting with the fan base, but then going out into the real world and like having a server shift job and like having to interact with customers.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in
Oh,
I feel bad. I feel so bad for folks who are, I was an illegal dishwasher at age 16,
oh my
and
goodness.
um and we were getting, back then we had absolutely no protections. It was like the 1800s, and
Hmm.
we were getting about $2.10 an hour,
Oh,
and we were supposed to get parts of the tips for the waitresses.
what?
Yeah, they were supposed to chip in a little bit, and of course that never happened.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I couldn't blame them because that's, oh, I
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish
Yeah,
that.
no.
I mean, unless you're good at it and you enjoy it. And I'll say this: if you come at my table with that voice, and I would give you a large tip.
Oh, thank you, Eric. I I enjoy interacting with the customers.
Hmm.
Um, I do enjoy like that getting to know people.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be a VTuber if I didn't.
Yeah, that's
But it's those one-on-one interactions with like customers and like tables that I do enjoy about my job and
yeah.
is the only reason I even still have stayed.
Mm,
Um, but it was mostly because I did take a break for a little bit.
hmm.
I've just recently started back. Um, for me, it was mostly just like management
Mm,
and how they decided to run their schedules.
right. It.
I
It's,
I I can't deal with a messy schedule.
yeah, that's, and schedules for workers in your industry are all over the place,
They
and
are. Every week is different.
it's. I'll tell you what really bothers me about stuff. Well, a lot of things bother me. I'm an old man, but the another thing that bothers me uh, is you have a shift, and I'm sure you have a lot of folks that are coworkers, and some of them are taking it more seriously than others, and
Yes.
some people will just no call no show, and somebody
Yep.
has to stay over for the next shift, and boss points it around and looking. Some will look for volunteers, some will just look for a scapegoat,
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
and I would not want to do a double shift at what you're doing.
Oh, the doubles, they're scary a little
Yeah,
bit. Just a little bit.
yeah.
Um, at my job specifically, I've gotten to know the environment so well.
Hmm.
Like I know all of my coworkers to a point where I can tell when one of them is having a bad day,
Hmm.
and I can kind of be like, okay, they need this, but they need me to not do this right now.
Right.
So they need me to avoid them.
Yeah, yeah. That's by golly, that's almost empathy, isn't it? We don't have a whole lot of that going around. Um,
Oh yeah.
and that's a double-edged sword when it comes to uh, going on the internet, because if you have empathy for someone who is putting up a fake front, then you get yourself in trouble.
You do. You really do. You have to be very, very discerning.
Yeah, it's
Um,
in life in general, but here it's a little even more, because even if you think you know somebody for a period of time, you never met them.
that's true. That is so true. And I like to say, no matter what, like people are constantly reconstructing themselves.
Mm,
Um, it's one of those things where you can be like you can be someone one moment, but then completely change your perspective and flip and change the person you are another minute.
Yeah,
And sometimes it can be a very good thing, and sometimes it can turn out a bad thing.
yeah. I mean, look at John Cena. Oh, sorry,
Oh.
a whole different. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. That
Uh,
was bad. But really, it's true though. I mean, you don't know what's happening in their off screen internet lives. Something horrible could happen to them, and their aspect on things changes, and you have to go with the flow of that. But that's in everyday life too. But I want to
mhm.
talk about more about what you're doing online here, because I want to know what type of streams that you're doing and how you've been able to incorporate that into your channel. So if I tune into one of your channels and one of your streams right now, what am I going to see?
Ooh, okay. So I know tonight we're doing Marvel Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I do a lot of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of keep it a variety.
Yeah.
We'll do a different game typically every day. We try to switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
For a very long time, I was a huge Dead by Daylight streamer. I still am. Um,
I,
my favorite character, Yunjin, I finally have prestiged her to level 100, which took me quite a bit. And then when I got to level 99, I decided, you know what? I'm not clicking the button.
oh,
And then for the longest time, just so I could just so I could just be like, yeah, no, not
let
clicking it.
let
You
the
stay at
Pokemon
P99.
let the Pokemon evolve.
Oh
No.
yeah. I made a community channel redeem for my community to P100 me, and they finally did.
Oh, oh, oh.
That
Well,
was real
so
exciting.
why do people enjoy getting hung on hooks so much?
Cliffhangers. Cliffhangers.
Oh,
It's that cliffhanger effect.
oh, that would just. I watch folks play it, and it's exciting for me to watch. I could not play it because I would be so frustrated. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
horror part would get me for a while. Then I just get mad.
Yeah, at this point, I have about 1,000 hours in that game.
Oh,
Um,
oh my gosh.
oh
Well,
yeah, the horror doesn't usually get me. Every so often, some killers will jump scare me, and
yeah.
that is always so much fun.
Oh,
I love when they jump scare me because they usually don't. Um, but I do think that kind of also brings an aspect to it as well that like it adds in that like, ooh, what if she gets like a scary killer that scares her, you know?
yeah, yeah. Cool. She knows what she's doing. What happens when they get somebody who's just a little more shiftier than the other people that you go up against? There's a challenge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten some killers that are really, really good, and I've
Mm.
gotten some killers that were so silly. Just the cutest little killers.
They're so nice. You pat them on the head and they're swinging
Yes.
a knife at you. Hey, you're so cute.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Every so often, if the killer is just that nice and they're letting everybody go, I will die for them. I
Mm.
will sit there and I will let the entity, the end collapse just take me.
You've been so nice. Here, I'll sacrifice myself for you.
You can have the blood points. I don't need them. I'm already P100 anyways.
And they get, do they? Oh, I didn't know this, but do they know your level when you're in the game?
Ah, so back a long time ago, Dead by Daylight used to have it where they did know, but
Mm.
now they won't know until the very, very end of the game.
Oh.
So it adds that exciting thrill of, oh my goodness, I just went up against a P100.
And I competed well. I did good.
Yes.
Yes. It does it. I guess that makes it a little more fun that you don't know exactly what you're going up against. Um,
It really does in my
yeah,
opinion.
if you're like a level 2 and go in and everybody's level 90 and above that you're going up against, like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I'll just show up.
Well, I feel like usually sometimes if like you're a newer player, for killer and you're going up against like bigger levels,
Hmm.
uh I don't know much about killers, so don't yell at me in the comments, guys. Listen, all I'm saying is sometimes I just say if you're a newer killer, play nice if you do get some teams that are looping you a little bit,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
You can probably get some kills off of them, especially me, because I'll just die for you if you're cute.
That's that's something you can put on a T-shirt, for merchandise.
Oh, you're right. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Do like one of my emotes and then do like,
yeah.
I'll die for you if you're cute.
There you go. There you go. It's published now, so you've got the trademark.
Perfect. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm
So
excited.
so what do you
I'll
want to?
get merchandise just for it.
Yeah, I mean, are you doing that now with your channel? Are you wanting to expand into more um let's see, marketing type things?
So for a little bit, I did have a fourth wall. I am getting I do want to get the merch revamped a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on that. That's in the works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm. So there may be announcements in the future, is what you're saying.
potential announcements.
Potentially.
I mean, I do have an announcement on the first,
Oh, and
which
what is that
I mean, I
announcement?
can
I mean, we're like practically there now, so.
okay, perfect. Because I wasn't sure if you were posting this after the first or not, but
Mm-mm.
we got subathon in the works for the birthday.
Ooh. Oh, how long
hmm
you gonna go?
We're gonna start off with 12 hours.
Hmm. That's pretty
Yes,
reasonable to start with.
a reasonable starting timer.
Yeah.
And then we'll have it where one sub is 6 minutes, I believe.
Hmm.
And then I think one of the community goals adds like 7 hours.
Oh. Oh
Oh yeah,
my.
that's the scary one.
Oh. Why do you guys do this to yourselves?
Content for haha giggles.
They says through clenched teeth. Ha ha! Giggles. That's why I do this.
Haha giggles.
Well, I mean, it really does sound like it's become a home for you.
It
Um,
is. It's my cat haven is my home.
yeah, it's good to hear that you're enjoying it and it's enjoying you at the same time.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
It could,
I love making content for my cat haven. I just love interacting with them
yeah,
through stream.
yeah, and and to have folks reciprocate that and come back for you. Um,
That fills my soul.
yeah, I mean it's in radio we liked having we always get radio ratings that tells us whether people
hmm
were actually listening to you or not. It was even if you weren't in first or second or in my case 18th, as long as you knew there was somebody out there that was
hmm
that was tuning in, and it does make a big difference.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean,
It means that your words do reach somewhere.
hmm
For the longest time, I mean, I've had to sit here and tell myself, My words will reach somewhere. They
hmm
will.
hmm
They will reach somewhere eventually. They
yeah,
will be heard."
yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's I gotta tell you, it's very easy to talk with you, all this stuff, and it's very obvious how much you enjoy it. And again, I go back to the voice, and it's one of those voices that you can tell when somebody's smiling, that type of voice. And
I am.
yeah, it really does. And with that comes I mean it influences the audience whether people realize it or not.
It
It's
does.
yeah, because they're like, oh, that's nice, that's pleasant. I'll tune in and listen, and sooner or later they're just kind of bopping their head and enjoying what's going on. Um,
Mhm.
that type of welcoming atmosphere is so much gold uh,
It really
in the
is.
bank. Were those the type of people that you enjoyed watching, or do you watch a lot of other people's streams?
Ooh, I watch a couple of other streamers.
Hmm.
Every so often, I will t pick a specific streamer for whatever reason,
Hmm.
whatever, to just watch while I work on outside work from stream.
Hmm.
Um, and I found a couple communities that I do like to hang out in.
Yeah.
I am still very much a big YouTube girl though. I
Yeah.
do really like my YouTube Let's Plays,
Yeah.
especially Markiplier.
I watch so much YouTube now. Um, we actually, when my wife and I first got an X, nah, no, was it? It was a Wii. Um, the only
Oh,
thing we did was watch YouTube videos on it.
I love that. Oh my
And we just sat
goodness.
and well, we had a couple of games that we enjoyed, but we just sat in the living room and we just dropped all our TV stuff and like there's no reason we can watch it on YouTube eventually. Um,
Literally, YouTube's perfect.
yeah, as long as they don't screw themselves up and you know
Mhm.
X themselves.
Oh,
uh,
please don't.
yeah,
Please don't. Please
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Please don't.
They and I've got a lot of work in this YouTube thing too now.
Yes, you
Holy,
have so many interviews. I
yeah.
love watching them.
I appreciate that. It's so much fun, and when you're talking,
Yes.
and this is my comfort zone. I mean, this is my wheelhouse, and being able to talk with folks and experience a little bit what they've gone through in why and learning their talents and what they're enjoying themselves is so much fun, and you get a chance to do that a little bit
Yes.
too when you're interacting with the chat. Um, it's and realizing that you're not going to probably ever meet this person in person. You never know their actual name.
Mhm.
You may be on the other side of the planet. Um, that's pretty mind-boggling if you dig into it deep enough.
It really is. It really is. And oh my goodness, I have journal entries
Huh.
about this topic.
Yeah, yeah. It's really for somebody who grew up. I've talked to folks from around the world now, obviously, but if I tried to do that when I first started in radio in the '80s, it would have cost so much money. It would have been on the phone.
Mhm.
It would have sounded like just garbage.
Yeah,
It,
just not good, not
and
good
and we
quality.
certainly wouldn't have gone more than 2 minutes before I got fired for spending so much money.
Oh yeah. Oh
And,
yeah.
yeah.
Those international pay tolls.
Oh my gosh. Ma Bell
Oh,
was not a fun mistress when it came to as far as that went. It was
oh,
she'd get back at you sooner or later. Um,
oh,
so obviously you're happy with what's going on. Is
yes.
is there something that you'd like to that you're not quite pleased with yet? Is there something that would make your streaming life so much more fun at this point, or are you in a really good place?
For right now, I would say I'm in a very amazing position.
Uh-huh.
I think in the future, I do wish to have a model that, because my current one is a pre-made model.
Hmm.
I would like a model more based closer to how I envision Mearicat to be.
Hmm.
But that doesn't need to come anytime soon. I'm more than willing to work for it and be so much more happy when I do receive it.
Hey, folks, if you can't hear that smile, then you're not listening.
Oh my goodness. Eric.
It's just the truth. It's just the truth. And I've had a smile on my face all the whole time we've been talking. It's so much. It's been so much fun talking with you. And I please keep in touch so we can do this again sometime soon. And and,
Yes, I would love
and I
to.
wish
This
you
has been amazing.
thank you. I wish you all the best with that endurance stream. I'll
Yes. Oh yes.
I'll try.
I got this.
Yeah, I'll try.
Birthday subathon.
I'll try to stop in and give you a let's go, keep going. uh, but
Oh, I'd love to see you
but
there.
folks, you got to check out to see what Mearicat's got going on. We got all the links in the description. Um, absolute pleasure. Please come back again. Let me know what's going on.
Of course, Eric. Good luck to you as well in all of your future interviews. Oh my goodness. I know they're all going to go wonderfully.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.